It's the week of November 5th, 2019. My name is Patricia.
And I'm Sadie. Welcome to your Winter's One News.
We have talked about wildfires a few times on the news already this school year. But there is a new wildfire spreading through Southern California that is getting a lot of attention. More than 10,000 residents have been forced to leave their homes as first responders attempt to limit the spread of fires. So far, 13 structures have been burned as high winds have made it difficult to contain the flames. Even LeBron James was forced to evacuate his home with his family. Hopefully, firefighters will have the flames under control soon.
The city of Mesa recently broke ground on a new project very close to the current Gateway Airport. The project is called Skybridge, and it is the first island cargo hub in the U.S. The goal of Skybridge is to get cargo through customs and between the U.S. and Mexico quicker. This is a very large project that will ultimately bring more than 17,000 jobs to Mesa. Skybridge will not be completed for about 20 years, but the first two of the 23 buildings should open up in April of next year. Let's go over to Mr. Bourne for a weekly update.
Okay, good morning, Winters Well. It's good to talk to you again and reflect on what we've been doing last week. It was such a busy week when we had Red Ribbon Week, and I wanted to talk about some of the things we had mentioned about people that you admire, and then traveling into the future and what you might be when you grow up. And that made me think back on some of the teachers that I had when I was younger and going to school like you guys are. And there were a couple of teachers that really stood out for me. I had a lot of great teachers, but Mr. Scott was my 6th grade teacher. And what I remember about him was he made everything very, very hands-on and very fun. I remember doing things like these newscasts that you guys are participating in, building robots, making plays, creating costumes, and all these things were tied into stories that we were reading because it was a reading class. I don't think I wanted to be a teacher at that point, but he certainly made me like school in a way I hadn't enjoyed it before. And then when I got into high school, Ms. Kyle was the teacher I had who really did introduce me to a lot of reading, literature, books, authors. That excited me and kind of led me on the path to become a teacher and then ultimately your principal. So as you guys think about what you might want to be in the future and think about people that you admire, talk to them about their jobs and learn a little bit more about what you might want to be when you grow up. Also, we talked about safety last week. One thing I want to bring your attention to, many of you may recognize this letter. This went home last week to your parents. It's a notification that the Palo Verde nuclear plant will be running some tests on their sirens next week. It will happen during the school day, so I want you guys to be aware of November 13th, it's a Wednesday, between 12 and 12:30, there are going to be a couple of tests on those sirens at the energy plant. So we will definitely hear them at school. There will also be a notification on cell phones that you'll hear on your teacher's cell phones, or if you bring cell phones, those will be going off. So just want you to have a heads up. Don't get afraid or anything like that. They are just running tests to make sure that safety protocols are in place. Let your families know about it as well. Remind them, as many of them might be home and start to panic a little bit. So have a safe week, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you, Mr. Bourne. Let's go over with Carly and Jenny with sports.
Hello, welcome back to sports. My name is Carly.
And my name is Jenny. In NFL news, the Cardinals lost to the New Orleans Saints and Drew Brees returned. The score was 31-9. That loss brings their record to 3-4-1. They will play this Sunday in Tampa Bay against the Buccaneers.
The Suns started their season just over a week ago. They have won 2 of their first 3 games so far, including the big 130-122 victory over the LA Clippers. Devin Booker led the Suns with 30 points and 8 assists. They will play 2 games at home this weekend against Miami and Brooklyn.
The Arizona Coyotes won 3 out of 4 games on their East Coast road trip that ended last week, including back-to-back from behind wins against the Devils and the Sabres. They will also play 2 games at home this week. That's all for sports. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you, girls. Let's go over to Bella and Jackie with entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Bella.
And I am Jackie. November is a busy month in Arizona. First of all, people start getting ready for holidays. Many people from northern states start coming down for winters, and several festivals and outdoor events are taking place.
One of the biggest events happened right at the end of the month when the Phoenix Auto Show begins on November 28th through December 1st. It is an opportunity to meet celebrities and see all the new cars that are coming out in the next year, as well as some super futuristic cars called concept cars that future cars may look like. See you next time in Entertainment News.
Bye!
Thank you, girls. Now let's go over with Carissa with Joke of the Week.
Hello, welcome to Joke of the Week. My name is Carissa, and we have Valeria from the Scott's homeroom. So, Valeria, what's your joke today?
What do you call a math teacher?
Well, I don't know. What do you call a math teacher?
Mathtific.
Ha ha ha. Great joke. Here on Joke of the Week, we want to see your joke. If you have a joke and you would like to be on the news, go to the link below. See you next time on Joke of the Week. Bye.
Thank you, Carissa. Now let's go over to Natalie and Brianna with Fun Fact Trivia. Welcome to Fun Fact Trivia. My name is Natalie.
And my name is Brianna. November 5th is National Donut Day.
Donuts come in endless flavors with all different kinds of toppings and fillings.
Donuts have been around for a long time, although the exact history of the donut is not exactly known.
What we do know is that donuts were originally created as a variation of fire cake's recipe.
When was the first time the word donut first appeared in a cookbook?
Is it A, 1793,
B, 1808?
C, 1844?
You have 10 seconds to decide which one is correct.
If you said B, 1808, you are correct.
The average Americans now eat 31 donuts a year.
That means donut shops in America are cranking out over 10 billion donuts a year.
That is all for Fun Fact Trivia. See you next time. Thanks, girls. Here's Sophia with Science Time.
Welcome to Science Time. My name is Sophia.
And my name is Rosalie.
Scientists, car manufacturers, and computer engineers have been working for a long time to make driverless cars a real thing. They do exist. Statistically, they are incredibly much safer than a traditional car with a human driver. Every year, car companies add a few more features to cars to make them more and more autonomous.
A new development out of MIT is getting ready to add a new feature of driverless cars. The ability to see around the corner. This new feature uses artificial learning and movement of shadows in the corner of two perpendicular streets to indicate the possibility of approaching obstacle. It still has a lot of testing to do before the real application, but will probably be added to autonomous cars in the near future.
That is all for Science Time.
Thank you, Sophia. Now let's go over to Dakota and Emmanuel with This Week in History.
Hello, welcome to This Week in History. My name is Emmanuel.
And my name is Dakota.
On this day, November 5th, 1940, Franklin D. Roosevelt was elected to the third term of President of the USA. No other president has ever served more than 2 terms, but there were no laws preventing such as event from happening. That 22nd Amendment to the Constitution was not added until 1947.
In 1940, the world was in a brink of World War II, and Roosevelt had made the promise to the American people that he would remain neutral in the world of affairs and not send armed forces to Europe. That would change on December 7th, 1941, when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor in Hawaii and forced Roosevelt to get involved in the world. See you next time on This Week in History.
Thanks, guys. Let's go over with Rosalie with Word of the Week.
Welcome to Word of the Week. My name is Rosalie. This week's Word of the Week is ferocious. Ferocious is an adjective and it means savagely fierce, cruel, or violent. Here's how you can use it in a sentence. The competition among the students for the best grade was ferocious. See you next time on Word of the Week.
Thanks, Rosalie. That's all for this week's news.
See you next time.